Gentlemen, and welcome to the review show of the very esteemed GAS Challenge. Yes, the GAS Challenge is that premier tertiary institutional quiz that seems to champion the education of STEM and beyond, particularly in the gas sector of the country. Now, gas is now responsible for a lot of power in the country and, of course, global as well. That's why we say knowledge is power, gas is power. Now, on this review show, we tend to get insights into the various departments that, champion the happening or the making of the GAS Challenge. And I've been joined by some very honorable members representing different sectors of the GAS Challenge. And we are going to be talking to them to, get to know of their views, their contributions, and of course, their expectations in this year's edition of the GAS Challenge. So beginning from my left, I have one very honorable member who's no new face out. Have him introduce himself for the benefit of those who yet don't know him. So, sir, over to you.
Okay, I'm Dr. Frank Boateng, technical consultant working with the technical committee.
All right, thank you, Mr. Frank. You're welcome. Hello, beautiful madam. Could you please introduce yourself as well?
Okay, so I am Sophia Kwachimafo, and I'm a member of the planning committee of the GAS Challenge. Yes.
All right, Madam Sophia, you're welcome. And my big man himself, kindly introduce yourself. Please.
Okay, so I'm Ifreme Uku, the head of the production team for the 23 GAS.
Wonderful, wonderful. Over to you, sir, on the far end.
Okay, my name is Benjamin Asare. I'm a member of the planning committee for this year's challenge.
All right, Mr. Ben, you're welcome as well. Now, very, very powerful board of members I have here with me. But then let's get straight into the business of the day. Mr. Frank, as a member of the technical committee, run us through what went into this year's edition, including the planning from the technical side and the utilization of all those plans currently as we have gone beyond the semi-final stage.
Okay, so we have a simple assignment. Ours is to work with the technical committee in Ghana Gas and to make sure that the questions that we are asking the students have the right integrity. We are actually asking them the right questions at the level of students that we want them to respond to. So we make sure there is that consistency in terms of the questions and even the conduct. If any of the coaches has queries, we really have to quickly. That is why when production is going on, you would see that we pause it a little bit,
exactly,
just to iron out issues to make sure tempers are not raising and everybody is understanding where we want to get to and how we want to develop and improve this competition. So basically, that's what we do to support this competition.
Now that sounds like a very great deal of work going in there. I'll come back to you, particularly on the queries. It looks like in this year's edition, there's been some queries here and there from the coaches. Not too happy in there, but then you managed to sort that out. We'll come back to that. But then, Madam Sophia, from the planning committee, what changed from the planning committee's aspect in this year's edition of the GAS Challenge?
Actually, in this year's challenge, we didn't have much changes. The only thing that we're looking forward to is bringing some form of dynamism into the competition. So from the planning side, we made sure that in terms of even our branding, you could see that clearly, visibly, we are well branded now. And then in terms of even the participation from the schools, we saw a lot of them more participating. Even though we didn't increase in terms of the number of schools that we have, we still maintained the 12.
Yes.
But we also realized we encourage, as we said, we wanted to allow more women, and so we encourage the schools to bring on additional female to contest. And so that's a bit of dynamism that was brought on board in this year's edition.
Perfect, yeah. Perfect. Now let's go to the production side of this event right here. Mr. Uku, tell us, what gives you joy when you sit behind, that production desk for the GAS Challenge?
Ironically, if I said it it will raise a lot of eyebrows. It's when students get simple questions wrong.
Seriously?
Yeah, when they get the simple questions wrong,
Okay.
and you hear, oh no, and you hear, oh no, it brings joy because now I want to see the competitive nature of the thing. So when people get it wrong, it's in the positive side. But I want to see how quickly will the people be able to get it. Because if it seems everybody is getting his answers so right, it makes the production, the contest a little bit down for me. But just flipping aside and speaking a little bit more to what Sophia just said, this year has been a different model altogether.
Exactly.
Because we're used to traveling to various
Several
zones
Yes.
to organize it before coming. Previous for the past editions that we have done
That's
until
right.
this one, we are traveling to each places. It's part of the travel is part of the things that give us joy as well.
Certainly.
I know a lot of the members can align with that one, give us joy as well. So if I talk about joy, that's part of it. But this year has also been very, very joyful. It has been a back-to-back thing. So we realized for the first time, everything is being hosted in Accra. We had the preliminaries over 2 days, over morning and evening sessions. What we're used to is one contest per one day. We travel, we do that one day, we come back. This year, it has been a back-to-back. It has been very, very interesting.
Exactly.
It has been, I think it has been very fun as well.
Of course.
Yeah, so we had few things to go in. It has been make the quiz also a little bit more competitive as well in nature because you have people like, for example, in the preliminaries, you could realize you, Matt, were sitting at the top, biting their fingers and counting their losses.
Exactly.
Whilst also praying that some people should get it wrong
So that
they
they
can
can get
bypass them just by some few marks and qualify because we're all zoned at the same place. That one would have been over a week because probably we have gone to either Cape Coast or Takwa to have done it.
Sure.
They would have known their faith probably after we have traveled
several days.
Go.
Yes.
But that one, you know it just within a few days.
Quick.
So that's also been that part of the thing that.
Wow. Powerful submission right there. Now, Mr. Ben, from the brands and communication aspect, what was your injection into this year's edition of the Gas Challenge?
Okay, critically, taking it from where my colleague Sophia mentioned, you can see a lot of change in the branding. The branding has upped itself a little. Since we're not going to do everything like we did previously, we're not going to do things like we used to do previously. We had to deploy a more catchy arrangement to catch the attention of the various schools that are participating, the general public, and our staff. So as you know yourself, we had to start with the interviews, deploy on social media, try to heighten the interest of people. As of now, both using the resource of the production team and that of Ghana Gas, we are using the intranet to deploy it. We are using Facebook. We are using all possible platforms to make sure that in as much as we are not having people congregate here, they are also being communicated to. We are pushing down the contest down their throat. Also, when it comes to the whole brand of the Gas Challenge, as we inch into the 5th edition, which hopefully will be next year,
Sure.
you can see that there's some change, there's some edge, there's some panache that is coming up. It is just to tell ourselves that we are expecting the 5th, and we should embrace this context successfully as we move into the finals and expect a much bigger
All right.
brand for
Sure.
next year.
Sure. Thank you for all that work you're putting in there. Now, the theme for this year's edition has been embracing the future and building a sustainable gas sector through knowledge and education. Now, let's get to you, Mr. Frank, again. How impressed are you with the responsiveness from the several schools, and in fact, the 12 schools that participated in this year's edition in relation to the materials that you sent to them to study? How do you correlate the responsiveness, the performance, as to the materials that were given?
No, I think I will applaud Ghana Gas again and the chairperson and the organizing committee, especially the technical team that spent time to put this document together. I don't know if you have cited a copy of the document these students are learning. It's thick like that.
I think I'll have to see you afterwards to have a look at that.
It's thick like that. And as academia, I know what it takes to even publish a 24-page document. What goes into that.
Okay.
So for the technical team to sit and put this together, it tells the hard work that they put in there.
But not to cut you short, is there a different body of material published each and every year, or
Yes.
do you just revise
Yes.
the previous?
So
Wow.
every year there is a new version
Wow.
that gets to the students.
Wow.
So it's not like what came last year
Oh,
is the
I
same
see.
document you are using. They keep updating and keep updating. So if you noticed, at some point we introduced more sustainable development goal questions, which originally you wouldn't
Warranted
have
pass.
seen that.
Exactly.
So that tells the incremental nature of the documents that the students are
Okay.
learning. That's one side, putting
Okay.
it together. But for the students, we really have to applaud them. If they sit here and they score even the lowest of mark, we really have to applaud them
Oh, wow.
for the effort they put in.
Then an
Because
applause for them all.
it's not easy to come through all these documents, make sure you understand the concept, and they are not just reciting and telling you. Sometimes, we cause them to think and calculate. Sometimes they get it easy, and if they have seen the document, they can easily recite and tell you what it is. It's a difficult job, and they are doing very well.
All right. An applause to you all competing schools for coming up on this stage and actually embracing the competition and putting up all the performances you did. It's not easy, like our technical committee chairman has said, but then you guys have really done well. Madam Sophia, let's come to you. In the planning side of things, I have had previous conversations where I think the planning committee chair, Madam Augustina, mentioned that she is always looking to, introduce innovations into the gas challenge. What would you say are some of the innovations that have been witnessed in this year's edition?
All right, so in this year's edition, you also realize that before we even started the whole competition, we even had a virtual launch and a road show.
All right.
Typically, we always move from region to region or
Okay.
from school to school doing a physical road show. But this time around, we had a virtual road show. And also, we also had the virtual balloting. So it's not as if we just group the schools based on geographical locations,
All right.
but we still had the schools doing a virtual balloting where
Okay.
they chose the group that they want to be in themselves.
Okay.
So that is a bit of the dynamic, the innovativeness
Sure.
that we put
Sure.
in this year's edition. Yes.
Now, before we go to Mr. Uku, I also saw that, usually there is the invitation sent out there to some of these senior high schools, the second cycle institutions to, come witness and actually also get inspired. And I saw some setups that they brought. I think that's new as well. Would you want to touch on
Yes,
that?
I think that one escaped me. So this year, over the previous years, mostly the secondary schools, they come and just observe.
Okay.
But we realized that it is important that when they come in, they equally have something that they can exhibit. So we gave them an opportunity to bring on board their science projects that they are working on, to be able to demonstrate that what they are able to do at that tender age.
Okay.
And I must say, we were very much impressed
Certainly.
with some of the innovativeness that they were able to demonstrate using local materials to generate some form, because we saw it last week from
Exactly.
Accra Academy
Yes.
and then Accra High School. So that is also one side of the innovativeness that we brought on board this year. And we are hoping that going forward, we'll be able to give them a bigger platform to be able to demonstrate the other schools what they'll
Okay.
be able to
All right.
showcase as
Now,
well.
kudos to the
Yeah.
planning committee for that. Indeed, we are embracing the future. Now, Mr. Uku, talking about production, how you deal with a lot of production from several events. When it comes to the gas challenge, how unique is it from the production aspect?
So the gas challenge is unique in the format in which it takes. I guess there are other events that you can compare or put them in the same category, but it's quite unique in terms of the sector it has to. Dealing with the university students, they are matured, not just a little matured, they are matured. They are in between the adults and the secondary school, so they are matured. They are able to speak to issues like independently, compared to the secondary schools. So ways of going about even our when there's a query on any of the answers that I've been giving or questions is different from all other places. Here you need to show documentary proof in terms of both audio and sometimes video for people to listen, to be able to attest to it that that's what it is. You can realize that in this contest, this is the first time in the quiz contest in Ghana that the contestants are using in-ears. In-ears to be used by mostly singers when they are singing.
Exactly.
But it's to make sure that they hear the questions well, it's audible to them, and you can talk to them independently. It will shock you that informations are being sent to the stage, not verbally, as normally is not like in terms of writing. Written as normally sent, but it's spoken to people's ears.
Wow.
For them to hear in terms of from the technical points that I'm talking about. So, for example, when we want to communicate to the quiz mistress, I get him about whether we want to have a break or there's a challenge and all this. We do that one seamlessly without the traditional one of writing, walking to the stage, submitting to them. So there have been quite a number of innovations we input in this to make it seamless. Technical wise, it takes a great deal of work to do. You realize that even the sets that we use they are quite different. Then the when it comes to the production aspect as well, it's quite different. So we do live updates. So you go onto our Twitter, you'll be able to follow the conversations. Then also we have live editing also happening as well. Then the one game changer also will have to do with the interview sessions that we do with contestants before, with coaches and all those things. And having the JAMA session also being captured well. Other quiz contests don't do that one. So it is mixed with knowledge and making sure that it is entertaining as well.
Wow. Now, kudos to the production team. It looks like there's innovation cutting across all sectors, and that's really positive to notice about the gas challenge. Now, Mr. Ben, what would you say the impact of the gas challenge has brought to, the Ghana National Gas Limited Company as a whole?
So as a company led by our able Chief Executive, Dr. Ben K.D. Asante, our key objective is to be the market leader and the driver of gas matters. It is very key to note that the gas challenge has done a lot of image building for the company with regard to the things we do, our product line, how impactful our activities are to the nation. In your introduction, you mentioned that a lot of our power is derived from gas. This is something that has been happening in the last 7 years, and you've not had people hammer it like you've had the gas challenge do. So from a communications perspective, I think we've achieved a lot as a company investing in this challenge. You've had the various institutions whom we already have some interaction with. Appreciate the interaction we have with the gas challenge much more deeper as a more collaborative platform, just like the other platforms of career fairs, the various CSRs we do for them. But keenly, they appreciate that as a company, we are ready to partner with academia to help build a good workforce for industry. Thank you.
Wow, now I'm actually impressed that your very able CEO also mentioned that about 40 to 45% of your budget is allocated to education when it comes to your corporate social responsibilities, and that is very positive. Now, we are about wrapping up right here. We are heading into the grand finale come the 30th of November 2023. Which school, this is a general question across board. So when it gets to your turn, you answer. Which school surprised you the most? Which school disappointed you? And which school are you tipping to win?
All right. So you see the whole technical university ladies.
Yeah.
To be very honest with you, I was tipping them to be in the finals.
Oh.
Yes.
Wow.
They came in very strong. I mean, these are young women who they are very sharp in the way they were answering the questions.
Undoubtedly.
To me, I was thinking that they were going to take all of us by surprise. But I am not so disappointed. I know they have taken their lessons.
Sure.
And they will go, come back strong.
All right.
Now
which
let's
school
let's go
disappointed
to for disappointment, I wouldn't want to point any school that disappoints because I have indicated to you it's a big deal to sit here.
To even get here.
So their minimum effort or maximum effort is really, recognized and appreciated.
Okay.
Now look at RMU. RMU has
Pour
been,
water.
they have pour water. They've been scaling through, and they have scaled into the finals.
Wonderful.
You remember that in their contest, they were knocked out.
Sure.
And then they came in because they had a stronger point.
Exactly.
And then just this semis, they were knocked out. And we saw them going home very excited because they knew everything was closed. And they were happy with what they did.
Okay.
And they had just received a call to come into the finals.
Wonderful.
That's very, very amazing.
Sure.
Yes.
So are you tipping them to win?
I can't tip any school to win.
We
always want the best, to win.
Okay.
So now, if you even look at the total score each school had, and if that is anything to go by, then you may base on that in terms of strength.
Okay.
Then, of course, they were down.
Okay.
UMAT was up, and KNUST, becomes the middle. If you look at it from that
so
strength.
indirectly, you're almost giving us an order as we're going to be seeing in the winner.
No,
Mr. Frank,
we want surprises. We always that's the beauty of this contest.
All right.
We always want surprises.
Okay.
But before I go, just a quick correction. I am not the chairman for the technical committee, and as this has come up. Then I just want to take this opportunity to appreciate our chairman. Mr. Sylvester Kujo. He is our chairman.
All right.
And we work with very diligent and hard-working members in the committee.
Okay.
Let me use this opportunity to also say hi to all of them and to appreciate, their contribution and the hard work that they've been doing.
Okay.
These gentlemen don't sleep. I mean, yesterday they went to bed almost at 1 a.m., and they were here in the morning to make sure the competition goes on.
All right.
So Mr. Enoch Ayesu Asari, Mr. Ellis Kwesi Osei, Mo Muftahu Al-Hassan, Edwina Odofloko Okoye, Alhaji Abdullahi, Rafiko Inusa. We salute all of them for supporting and making sure we are getting the best for production.
All right.
And
so
for the
an applause to you all, the technical committee members, and of course the chairman, Mr. Sylvester Kujo. Now, quickly, Madam Sophia, which school are you tipping to win? Please, don't go general.
For me,
Yes, please.
may the best team win.
That's all.
Mr. Uku, which school?
So me, I want to answer
The surprise.
The surprise.
Okay, all right.
The surprise, because and not to use the word disappointing, but I was a little bit shocked, and I think probably they didn't strategize well. Let me use that word. It have to do with Aaron. What's the name? Yune.
Okay. Oh, yes.
LNG.
Yes, LNG. That's the one. Then LNG. Because they had a fantastic opportunity to sail through to the finals. I get it. They sail to the finals. It is competition. And when you go into any competition, and I'm saying this one for the future, when you go into any competition, you have to study the competition well.
Yes.
Look at the loopholes, take advantage of the loopholes, and that's how you win. It's not always about the knowledge. It's about the strategy you go with the competition with.
Okay.
People come with brilliant. And I think Doug also can bear me out. When it comes to examinations about strategy, it's not necessarily about all entirety about the learning.
Sure.
You can learn well and go there and write slowly and you fail.
Okay.
Time will beat you.
All right. So now, which school are you
Good.
tipping to win?
So for me, it is between two schools.
Okay.
It's between two schools, either Tech or UMAT.
All right.
That's what I'm tipping.
Done deal. Now, no one seems to be talking about University of Ghana, but well, we will leave them here. Mr. Ben, which school are you tipping to win?
I cannot tip any school to win. I wish
All right.
the finalists the
Okay.
best. But as a point of encouragement, I just think Tamale Technical University should up their game next time.
Okay. All right.
I think who Technical University too did marvelous, and
All right.
we should applaud them.
Okay. All right. Mr. Frank,
And-
it seems you have some final words.
You know, when I was calling out the technical committee team,
Yes.
I forgot about the man who makes everything happen.
Oh, of course.
He is that man,
Mr. Ben.
Mr. Keku Asare.
All right. Thank you, all members, for making this possible. This is how we're wrapping up on the review show. I believe you have enjoyed this and you are anticipating that grand finals happening on the 30th of November at the UPSA. Please make it a point to be there. Come witness history with us on that day. This is the Gas Challenge. Knowledge is power. Gas is power. See you in the grand finals.